So the fight between Emanuel Navarrete, Eduardo Nunez ended, and it was pretty much a complete beatdown between Navarrete. He busted Eduardo Nunez up the whole fight. It wasn't really too close. I would say in spots, Sugar Nunez was able to catch with some left hooks. He was doing some pretty good work to the body, which I thought he could have capitalized pretty good on, but just wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. Navarrete just did so much damage to the eye. I think it was his right eye, to the point where he forced a doctor stoppage. Um, I think it was his best performance to date, probably his best performance ever? Question mark. Possibly. I thought the what was it, Oscar Valdez fights were also pretty good. Speaking of that, it reminded me of those fights because Oscar Valdez's eye got busted up in the first fight as well, and also um, there was expectations for those two fights. Those two fights, the expectations were, oh, these guys were gonna go to war. They were gonna go back and forth. One guy takes one round, the other guy takes another round. But in each of those fights, Navarrete came on top. All right, wasn't close at all for any point of the fight, pretty much. Again, in spots, Sugar Nunez was able to catch Navarrete with left hook here, body shot here, just like what Oscar Valdez did. He was able to catch Navarrete here and there, but overall the match was complete domination, pretty much from Navarrete. And I thought Navarrete looked really good here, especially compared to his performance against Charlie Suarez, which I think, sure, um, the ending was controversial, but I still thought Navarrete was on his way to win. Let's be honest, if they weren't going to stop the fight, the only reason why they stopped the fight was because they ruled it a headbutt or whatever. If they didn't, they weren't going to stop the fight. So, in my opinion, Navarrete was going to go on and probably win the decision in that fight. But people self-select him. They thought Navarrete should have lost that fight, and well, fair enough. Um, but here, Navarrete showed his true colors, came out on top, dominated, and for the first time in his career as well, he is a unified champion. A unified champion. Amazing job beating Sugar Nunez. He wasn't. I wanted to see Asuka. I wanted to see Asuka. Eduardo Asuka Nunez. But unfortunately, we just got Sugar. So he fought scared for like the first few rounds. He was doing his best Devin Haney impression, pretty much. I'm sorry, Nunez, but Devin Haney, he can win rounds doing that because he's Devin Haney, and you can't criticize the great Devin Haney. If you're a Mexican fighter, or pretty much if you're not Devin Haney or Shakur, or basically if you're not a hype job, you can't do that because they can do it in the win the rounds. If you do that, you're not gonna win the rounds. Or simple as that. All right. It only works if you're a Mero bum hype job. So sorry, Sugar Nunez. You should have came to the front foot at first. Go ahead, smack to the body. You weren't gonna win an outside game against Navarrete, whose game is throwing punches from the outside with his right hand, uppercut. Come on, you weren't gonna win that type of game. So he was dumb the first few rounds. Was he downloading the data, as some may say, or whatever? Those it was really dumb on his part. Who knows what happened there, if that was really his game plan or whatever. He looked shooked. And I think he was wobbled in the third, at the end of the third, from an uppercut too. So the power difference here um, was there as well. Navarrete had more power than Sugar, to the point where even though the fight was going one way for Navarrete, it didn't seem like Sugar can probably hurt Navarrete with one shot. It had to be accumulation, which just wasn't coming. It wasn't gonna come. So now here we go again. Navarrete, for the first time in his career, is a unified champion, IBF, WBO, 130-pound champion. Now, there's a lot of fights I actually want to see Navarrete in. Now, of course, we will. Unifications is cool, but Foster and what's the other? Oh, the UK guys. I think later this month is James Dickens and Anthony Kakache. Those guys are afterthoughts. I can't wait. I'm waiting till the moment where someone takes the belt off them, the WBA title. Good for the UK and all, but James Dickens and Anthony Kakache, those are not names that I care about. Those aren't exciting names at all, and I don't care for Navarrete or even Foster to fight either of those guys. So hopefully, who's up in the WBA rankings? Like, I guess Hatei Sasumi because he was supposed to fight James Dickens. Hopefully, he can be whoever the winner is of that, and he can get that title or whatever. But I don't care about the WBA title. Foster, it's a good fight. Just I'm gonna be a little selfish here and say I really don't want it because there's three fights that I want to see Navarrete in. Spoiler alert: they're all Mexicans. They're all Mexicans. The first one is Rafael Espinoza. Now, when you're a WBO champion, you can move up. I don't know if you need a certain number of defenses, but I'm sure if you can move up when you're a champion of WBO, you can move up and you can get either like a title shot or you'll be ranked high like number 2 or number 1. So Rafael Espinoza is definitely one. I think that's a really good fight. And to be honest, I still see Navarrete dominating that fight because Espinoza, he beat, what was it? Ramirez? Raboisi Ramirez, which is a good win, but I think that flattered him a bit. I don't think Espinoza is all that, to be honest. I do think Angelo Leo can catch Espinoza. Who else is in featherweight? Um, I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of. I don't think Espinoza is like that. I think Navarrete can catch Espinoza. I think he can KO Espinoza, but I still want it because come on, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? The other fight that I want, low key, is on top of my list is Luis Alberto Lopez. We gotta get El Venado versus El Vaquero. Tell me that that's not a good matchup right there. El Venado versus El Vaquero. That's the matchup I want to see because I wouldn't say their styles are similar, but the way they fight it is similar. We have a El Venado throwing wide these uppercuts too. I mean, and he like the shots he be throwing. I mean, tell me you don't want to see that fight. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care that because like I mentioned this fight with like my group of friends, and they always say, "Oh, El Venado's gonna get a brain bleed again," and like I want to see the fight because I think El Venado can go punch for punch with Navarrete. Do you disagree? If you disagree, let me know. But to me, in my head, I just see that just being a really good fight. Really good fight. And El Venado, I think, is at 130 now. I don't know if he's ranked in any positions. I'll check after this video, but I think that's a really good fight. I think that's a really good fight. And the next fight, because they mentioned 135, and sure, Navarrete looked really poor in his 135 fight against what is it? Dennis Berencek, I think it was. However, I do think that was just like a one-time thing. I think Navarrete, I mean, for sure, he came in overweight, and he could have done better. He could have done better, but I think if he comes back to 135, he said he has a nutritionist now. I think he can go up to 135, and I think he can call out El Camarón, William Zepeda for the smoke. That right there is another good fight right there. Give me that fight right there. William, just William Zepeda, come back. Come on. We all miss El Camarón, William Zepeda, man. I hope he comes back. I don't know if he's injured. I've seen his social medias. He's been looking, in training, he's been looking pretty good. So hopefully he comes back. And if Navarrete ever wants to smoke, hopefully they can call up William Zepeda to do so. But yeah, that's Navarrete. Good win from him. Impressive. Great performance. Unified champion. And I mean, those three fights is the ones I want the most. If he can get Foster, even though it's, to be honest, it is a unification, but it's not the biggest fight I want. But if Foster is next, then that is a good matchup because again, that's three belts right there. I'm sure they will put the ring title on the line, lineal in the line as well, because lineal for sure because these are the two best 130 pounders. There's no debate. James Dickens slash Anthony Kakache. No, who else is at 130? Ray Ford. That guy's a bum. Um, who else? Um, I'm actually gonna search up the rankings real quick just to see if there's anyone that has any other claim. Um, yeah, I'm looking at the just at a random list, the box rec right here, and yeah, I don't see anyone else that has a claim. So yeah, Emmanuel Navarrete and Oshaki Foster, if they were to fight, then those guys are definitely the two best 130 pounders. So yes, the ring and the lineal crown will be on the line for that one. So hopefully I don't mind that fight. I don't mind that fight at all. So we shall see. Since I'm here, actually, let me just go over some other fights that I saw happen today. Kermel Moulton beat up a bum. Kermel Moulton, easy hype job. I mean, he's all right, I guess. He went. Again, he just beat up on a bum or whatever. Nothing too interesting or anything. I don't see anything with Kermel Moulton. I think what sucks about Kermel Moulton is he came to the game when uh, Mayweather's promotion have no stake because the PBC have no deal, and Mayweather's promotions they don't put on shows, meaning they can't really bring up Kermel Moulton to the way they wanted to, like with Tank, you know. So this Kermel Moulton project, I think, is gonna crash down pretty soon. Honestly, not that I want to see it, but this is what happens when you build up high jobs. They don't come as what you want. Um, Also in that card was the main event. Oh, well, just great. I blanking on the names. The main event of Lorenzo Parra and oh man, we're gonna have to search this up. Lorenzo Parra fought. Dude, why am I blanking on these names? Hold up, blanking on these freaking names. Um, Elijah Pierce. That's so embarrassing. I don't know why I just blanked on that name for like a good minute. Lorenzo Parra, he knocked out, or he stopped Elijah Pierce in the second round. I mean, I can't help but laugh, to be honest with you. I thought I didn't think Elijah Pierce is chinny. He's been dropped many times early on in fights. He got dropped in the first round in his last fight. He was able to come back, but he wasn't able to come back here. He got wobbled in the first round. And then yeah, Parra was able to catch Pierce with the left hook in the corner, and then he just wailed in on him in the corner, and eventually stopped. The ref stopped the fight. It was a good stoppage, and Pierce not good, especially after talking so much crap. Saying that he would have knocked out in a way and such. Stuff like this, and especially not good because he was number two in the WBO rankings in the featherweight, meaning He either could have just, not fight. He would have been number two. He could have get a Espinosa fight, or had he won this fight, he would have guaranteed been the mandatory. Because again, he was already number two. If he had won this fight, he would have been ranked up to number one. Because this is a WBO, like, I think like regional or international title was on the line, so he would have been number one, and he would have been able to be the mandatory to Espinosa. But that's shot in the dark now. He's gonna be put down to like what, number eight or something. Lorenzo Parra now is gonna go all the way up, and he's a good fighter. Colombian, hard hitting puncher. He went to a draw against a guy. I forgot his. I'm blanking on these names. This always happens at night, but he signed to Zuffa. Um, it was a draw, but he did a really good job in that fight as well. So Lorenzo Powell is a good fighter. He is a good fighter, and you never know. He could be a dark horse in the featherweight division. I kind of like when you get these like Colombian fighters or like Venezuela fight. I think he's Colombian or Venezuela. Sorry if I mix up those countries. He's either one of those two. I forget which one. Um, but these fighters, they come up, and it's almost amazing to see them come up because they come from countries that are in poverty and such, but they come in and fight, and they always have power. They always have power. Like when I search up these like again these Venezuelan, Colombian fighters, South American fighters, like they always have like a high KO percentage. It's really cool to see. It's really cool to see. I guess for this undercard as well, Abel Ramos got a win. Good for him. He beat up Smalls. Really good. He always comes in to fight. He's a hard hitter. He dropped Mario Barrios to draw. He was able to hurt Cody Crowley and such. He's a good fighter. He got a win. So he's up there in the welterweight division as well. I think his next fight though, they're gonna give him like a young prospect or something like that. And then that guy's gonna beat up on him or something like that. Also there was Vargas, Emiliano Vargas. He got like a gift stoppage. He looked pretty poor, but he's a young guy. It's whatever. It's whatever. I mean, I was never high on Emiliano Vargas. I was never high on him, so I don't really care to see him fight, to be honest. And then the first fight was Martinez versus Cardenas. I had a bet on Martinez because he was plus 400. It was a draw. He should have won the fight, in my opinion, but that's small recap. Um, it was a good show. Good show. Good fights. Not just from here, but also on the other card, Elijah Pearson, Lorenzo Parra. So good night. Fights next week. Zuffa boxing, and I'm not sure if there's anything else. I'll have to check, but excited for that show. Good performance.